You can't necessarily go by the internet when it comes to how to tell a good teacher from a bad teacher, because there's some instances where the internet doesn't know what it's talking about.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying? Cecil.
One thing is with training. When you are being properly trained, the person makes you do the task over and over again until you get it right before they pressure test you or put you in a situation where you have to be tested to do the task before they evaluate you. Now, I want to play this clip from Nearly Full of Junior's channel. He's talking about race. I want you to keep that in mind. What he's saying is bad is how a person who doesn't want you to succeed because they don't like the color of your skin, how they will go about not training you and not misleading you, how they don't want you to approach learning.
They will tell you what needs to be done and then walk off. But they don't train you in how to do it. And then they'll come around later on and go straight to the third T, which is testing. They jump from telling to testing without the training. And then they test you, and then they say you're inefficient, or you're not doing it the correct way and all like that. Well, sure, that might be true. But why is it true? Because they didn't train you. See, they didn't walk you through it. See, when you train, I know about training because I was in the military, where they better train you if somebody doesn't want to wind up dead. So they have you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again before they test you to see if you can do it on your own. So always look for that.
Okay, so maybe I'm tempted to say I know this because I was in the military, right? Maybe that's why I'm more receptive to somebody making me do something over and over again because I was in the military. But honestly, when I was in high school, even though I didn't necessarily like repeating something over and over again, I still did it. I did not come to class because they made me do the same thing over and over again or think that they were a bad teacher or that they're a fraud or that they're just lazy because they won't do something with me because they're making me do the same thing over and over again. I didn't look at it that way. I was frustrated because the flaw was in me. But if you go on the internet and you listen to some of these people who want to tell you what's a good teacher, what's a bad teacher, even dare I say some of the YouTube videos, they think that a teacher who stops, makes you do whatever it is over again and over again and over again, that makes you repeat the same thing until you actually have it down. Then they let you do it on your own, or they'll show you a little bit, you walk off, and then they come back, and they keep going over the same thing with repetition. They think that's bad teaching. They think that's bad learning because they think they're supposed to always get something new. It's because they're coming to class to be entertained, they're not coming to class to learn. And this isn't just martial arts students that think this way. I'm not going to get into it, but let's say there was someone who was in a position to judge me. And one of the things that she asked, she was in a legitimate position to judge me. One thing she asked is, oh, well, are you going to just have people just doing the same thing over and over again? Every time I see them, they just always do the same punches and kicks. Are you going to be any different? And that was where my hybridization of styles came in hand. It's like, sometimes you'll see us doing punches and kicks, but you'll see my children do other things too. And they like that. They're like, oh, they're going to come in and they're going to do this thing. And then, oh, they're going to come in and do that thing. They like seeing different stuff. I guess stuff that look like MMA, but it's not. But I, lately, have stopped doing that. And the people are probably thinking at this point, we're never going to do judo again. And I'm sure there were points where they thought, we're never going to do taekwondo again. That's because you got to learn this part. I want you to get your fundamentals down. So when your instructor makes you do that form that you forgot to do, and I do that now because the basis for what we're doing is forms. You don't know how to do the form, and then I make you do the form over again until you get it right. I'm not a bad teacher. I'm a teacher that wants you to learn it. When people take you back through the same fundamentals over and over again, it's because they want you to learn. They do that because they like you. They do that because they want to see you succeed. And the reason why this video really hits home for me is because I had a supervisor on my day job who told me, he said, I like that you can put up with things, but you have become too accustomed to being mistreated. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, you should be getting upset if somebody says this or says that or does this or does that they shouldn't do. You're too used to it. I'm like, well, it's not my fault if people have been mistreating me and I just expect to be mistreated because they do, and I'm not having a fit, and I'm just used to it. I'm just like, I guess it's powerful, of course. They're against the condescension and whatever. I'm not going to be running HR every 5 minutes because it's like, that's how they are. And I just accept it. But he's like, no, you're too accustomed to being mistreated. I understand that. And like I said, I appreciate that, but never become accustomed to being mistreated. I think he's got a point, though. You don't want to stay in a toxic environment. If it's a toxic environment, you should go. It's like if it's a toxic martial arts school, you should go. Okay? Because life's too short for negativity. But I also think that a lot of people are too accustomed to being mistreated to the point where you think that bad instruction is good instruction, and you think that good instruction is bad instruction. It's like it says in the Bible, woe to them that call good evil and evil good, who put darkness for light and light for darkness. And I give you an example. And I hate to use this example because I am so guilty of it. I have to constantly fight it. You wouldn't know it from the way that I teach, but it's a constant thing. And that's people who just let you spar all the time and they don't take the time to really go over the techniques. They just let you wail. And I admit it, I love that. I loved it because it's fun. You feel like you're figuring it out for yourself. But I had to accept because I was just like, okay, who's beating me? Whenever I go and I spar with other people who beat me, what do they have in common? Is it that they're just better than me? When I stopped and asked them, that was the first thing. I was like, okay, I played around with some people. We traded moves. Okay, I can beat up Joe Hoodlum. But now I want to go to the next level. What are they doing that I'm not? The first thing is they're learning forms that I'm not. The people who beat me are the people who learn forms. So then I started learning forms. And then it was like, I learned forms like, now, so less people can beat me. But who still does? The people who know forms, and this is considered to be cumulative. The people who drill things, the people who do combinations, whether it's striking combinations or grappling combinations. So the people who do combinations and who work on a particular move will tend to beat me in a particular competition format. So then who beats me after that? The people who do all those things and they're in shape. The people, then you get, then I start working towards being more fit. The people who, who cross train, they got their favorite thing, but they learn a complementary discipline or even a supplementary discipline. They're not just in this one style bag. Yeah, they manifest, and you really see this with like judo people, like the judoka who also trains BJJ, the judoka who also has a wrestling background, the taekwondo person who also took karate or who also took boxing lessons. But they're still taekwondo, but they bothered to open their mind. Who beats me? Then it's like, then the people who did all that, and even though I wasn't sparring anymore, it was like, they got a thing that I don't. What is that thing that they got? The people who bothered to get a black belt in a complementary discipline. Okay, did that. What else is there? The people who know how to do Kyusho Jitsu. Got that. What else is there? The people who've gone deeper in Kyusho Jitsu. The people, you see what I'm saying? And the thing is, when they learn, all the people who just spank me at whatever they're doing, even now, even though I'm at a higher level, but there's still people even higher level. I guess it's always going to be somebody at a higher level. Fine, I got that. But the people I notice who do things well are the people who rep it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Just like with writing, put butt in chair. Write, 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 write. When I was playing the trombone, over and over and over and over, that's how you get to that high level. So don't listen to the internet when they have all these lists of what makes a bad instructor. You want to know what makes a bad instructor? The person who does not bother to actually make sure that you know what you're doing before you go on to the next level or before they throw you in a high stress situation like a tournament or sparring against somebody who really knows what they're doing. The people who use you as a punching bag rather than training you how to punch the bag. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. And peace.